As we creep closer and closer to WWE recombining Raw and SmackDown like two really weird dolls that just wants to kiss, the era of the brand split looks to be drawing to a close. Presumably with this looming death, we'll also be losing our respective general managers as well. And I mean, that's a shame in the sense that losing anything's a shame, but given the amount of screen time they take up when we could be watching wrestling, not too many tears will be shed. Wasn't always that way though, as occasionally GMs have been the best gimmicks going. I mean, obviously other times they've been f***ing woeful, so for a laugh, come with me now on a journey through time and space as we rank every single Raw general manager from worst to best. Number 18, Mike ADAMLE. 10 years now, and I still have absolutely zero idea how this ever happened, sticking a backstage interviewer, not a very good one, at that, straight into the general manager's position. It'd be like us replacing Stu Bennett with f***ing Wilborn. Alright, so the championship scramble, which is, I guess, attributed to him, was kinda cool. They should probably bring that back. Actually, but other than that, it was just the most nothing reign that ever happened, and Vince, quite rightly, pulled the plug after a few months. Number 17, Brad Maddox. Brad Maddox is famous for having a fairly weird stint as a corrupt referee during the whole CM Punk Ryback feud, then for having a fairly meaningless stint as Raw general manager, and then absolutely nothing else. Ever. In his defense, I suppose he was an all-right talker, and by the time he got the position, it had become completely redundant anyway, so that's not his fault, but regardless, he was a total non-entity. Number 16, Mick Foley. Now, allow me to state for the record that this does not include his run as commissioner in the year 2000, because obviously that was funny as but rather this refers to his 2003 and 2016 runs as general manager, which were minging. First, he took over from Steve Austin, but being on the road again full-time sadly began to take a toll on him, and he asked to be written off TV fairly quickly. Absolutely fair enough, Mick. But then, hooray! He returned the year before last to partner Stephanie McMahon, and then just got belittled by her in every single segment. The man deserves so much better than that, so yes, his runs as general manager have been bad. Number 15, Bret Hart. After that match against Vince McMahon at WrestleMania, Bret Hart started to become a regular fixture on Monday Night Raw and was eventually given the general manager's position. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, he was really, really, really good at it. He was good on the mic, he improved every single segment he was in, but then mere weeks into the job, the Nexus storyline happened and he was removed, which means he was either just a placeholder or they just changed their mind about him. Now, as every single woman I've ever slept with has said, that's really disappointing and frankly a bit weird. Number 14, Kurt Angle. I mean, sure, this might still pick up, and admittedly the whole Rousey segment where he did the whole confused dippy granddad at the Christmas dinner table blurting out all the embarrassing family secrets was, yeah, hilarious, but what can we really say about Kurt Angle's run as Raw general manager? A nonsensical, illegitimate son Angle that's gone, frankly, nowhere is bad. Getting bent over and smashed by Steph every week is bad. His constant sloppy mic work is bad, and that's all a huge shame because we were so stoked to have him back. Now, before you get angry at me, I thought his two in-ring returns, the one with the Shield in particular, were excellent, but they just didn't really feel like they had anything to do with him being general manager, so I am mentally discounting them. Sorry. Number 13, Jonathan Coachman. Much like ADAMLE, Jonathan Coachman worked as a backstage interviewer for most of his WWE career and then moved up to being the general manager, but unlike ADAMLE, he actually deserved it. His lowly position on this list is more a reflection of circumstance, I guess, than anything else, as A, he was hot on the mic, B, he was a perfect heat magnet, and C, he played the whole heel authority figure thing without ever making all the segments about him. I mean, compare that to the two we've got now. But his run happened to coincide with what was, and I'll be kind here, a creatively lean period in WWE's history, so there's nothing really that stands out about it. It's a shame, really. Number 12, Stephanie McMahon. It's fair to say that there are some strong opinions on Stephanie McMahon, and I'm sure you've all got one of them. All I will say is that I thought she was really good in 2008, and right now she is a necessary evil on Raw. Like, if it wasn't for her being there, making everything about her, and just generally winding everybody up, who would we hate? Other than Roman. Number 11, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was better in one night as Raw General Manager than most of these other f***ers were in months. He took over from The Authority after Survivor Series, which was a great moment in of itself, and then proceeded to book all the heels in incredibly entertaining segments whilst having the crowd eating out of his hands. It was all just... If only they could recapture some of that magic over on SmackDown, eh? A boy can dream. Number 10, the anonymous general manager. Yeah, okay, when this was bad, it was very, 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 very bad. But when it was good, it was pretty good, wasn't it? Look, we all love a mystery, and the longer this ran on, and the more heat it generated, the more interesting it became. Like, that f***ing beef will haunt us all forever, so you can't say it didn't have a presence on the show. If they'd managed to channel this into launching a huge heel run for somebody, then it would have been great. But they didn't, so it wasn't, so yeah. Also Hornswoggle. Number 9, Vince McMahon. Vinnie Winnie McMinnie is, and let's face it, one of the all-time greatest on-air authority figures wrestling has ever seen, ever. The man was basically born to lord power over people. However, quite surprisingly, he only ever held the Raw General Manager title for 18 months between 2015 and 2017, and thinking back, it was one of his better runs. He's an incredibly watchable personality regardless, but the DX angle was great, and he somehow never felt like he was becoming the center of attention on any angle he waded in on, which has always been his biggest criticism in the past. So yeah, I really liked it. The man terrifies me though. Number 8, AJ Lee. She was really good as GM. Fight me. She just, I don't know, she brought something really different to the role. Like, she stayed face but constantly butted heads with Punk. She indirectly formed Team Hell No. Just everything she was in was just interesting and vibrant and fresh. It was really good. How weird then. Number 7, Triple H. Look up the definition of lucky bastard in the dictionary, and whose face do you see? Well, nobody's, because they don't have pictures in the dictionary or even two-word phrases, but if they did, it would be Triple H's. Getting the GM gig just as CM Punk was single-handedly dragging millions back to the product, he magically found himself in a program with the hottest commodity in all of wrestling. What are the odds? Yeah, alright, fine. Looking back, it's very easy for me to sneer, but at the time, his appointment added excitement and unpredictability to a show that finally had some again for the first time in years. And objectively, his stint as GM was one of the more entertaining to watch, even if it did admittedly end in predictably frustrating fashion. Number 6, Vickie Guerrero. Now you're probably rolling your eyes or clutching your pearls at Vickie Guerrero's inclusion this high up the list because, oh my god, she was so annoying and oh, that voice, make her stop and But that was precisely the point. She was supposed to grate on you that much, and she deserves all the credit on this earth for successfully reinventing herself from the faceless wife of the late Eddie Guerrero to one of the most effective on-screen heels of her time. Granted, she's better known for her time on SmackDown and later her affair with Adam Wilborn, but when it comes to storylines and feuds and moments, her run as Raw GM is up there with anyone's. Number 5, John Laurinaitis. Real talk, when Laurinaitis first debuted in the role of interim Raw General Manager, he was absolute f***ing wasp shit. But over time, he got very, very, very good at it. He had this horrible plastic smile and was just the quintessential snivelling, cowardly company man. Watching him was genuinely very entertaining. He also has to go down as one of CM Punk's greatest feuds of all time because A, he was the exact sort of arse-lick authority figure Punk's character was crying out to get its hands on, and B, because he never wanted to take the spotlight off him in promos. Did he, Hunter? Number 4, Shane McMahon. Okay, yes, Shane McMahon was Raw General Manager for about 5 minutes in 2008, but it's his more recent post-WrestleMania run that's got him this spot. After walking back into the company, well, not walking, obviously, doing that weird Shane McMahon ho-ho-ho thing that he does, you know the thing. After doing that back into the company to wrestle control of Raw of dear old Daddy-O, he was resoundingly beaten by The Undertaker at WrestleMania, but still got given control of Raw anyway. Because wrestling, what followed was dubbed the New Era and was basically just 3 really strong months of television with him and I guess Steph at the forefront of it. We got great new matches, great new stars, and he pretty much oversaw AJ Styles' arrival as a main event player. And now both of them are on SmackDown. Number 3, William Regal. Regal's first few months running Raw in 2007 were fairly forgettable as he took a bit of a backseat to the far more prominent Vince McMahon and Hornswoggle storyline. Hell, what a sentence that is to say. But after WrestleMania 24, things got really good as he started to abuse his power. He would end the show early, he would turn the lights off during matches. It was bizarrely great television. As the reigning 2008 King of the Ring, the Raw General Manager and the self-proclaimed most powerful entity in WWE, Regal began to take out all of his aggression on not just the roster, but on the fans as well, and it was just... He was absolutely brilliant in this role and probably should have had a run as WWE Champion during it as well, but got himself suspended, didn't he? Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin. After WrestleMania 19, you'd have been hard-pressed to devise a new role for Austin that A, he would really enjoy doing, and B, he'd be really good at, but unveiling him as co-general manager of Raw was inspired. His interactions with members of the roster were usually one of the most entertaining things on the show, and his clashes with Bischoff were, it's probably one of his more underrated feuds. Like, their chemistry is up there with anyone else he ever worked with. It breathed new life. It breathed new life. It gave new life. It gave new life to not only the general manager role, but to Austin himself. So yeah, I was a huge fan, but there was one thing about that whole Austin Bischoff era that was better than Austin. Number 1, Eric Bischoff. What can you say? Eric Bischoff was the original and the best. From making the World Heavyweight Championship an institution to conceiving the Elimination Chamber in storyline, anyway, Bischoff was a revolutionary leader during his time in charge of the show. Plus, that moment where Vince unveiled him, his arch nemesis, on Raw is still arguably one of the greatest shocks the show has pulled in its 25-year history. No man or woman has since, in my humble opinion, reached the heights he set way back when. I mean, love him or hate him, it just doesn't get better than Bischoff, does it? Those are the days. Right then, there you have it. That's all. Hell. 18 Raw general managers ranked from worst to best. Let me know what you thought. Maybe Laurinaitis was a bit high by leaving a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's WhatCulture.com for all your content needs, and at WhatCulture WWE for all the latest updates. Until next time, I've been Adam Cleary, and I'll see you soon.
Oh, wasn't that something? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also the people who made this lovely video, they're appearing right here. But if you're thinking to yourself, I want to see more content, Jules, then why not look above my head, as there probably is some. I don't know. I can't see it. Until next time.